What's up, guys, and welcome back to my reading journey. I hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic, and today, as usual, we're going to continue with Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. It's going to be the fourth chapter of the fifth book, so let's get started. Justice in rectification. The other species is rectificatory, found in transactions both voluntary and involuntary. This way of being just belongs to a different species from the first. For the just in distribution of common assets will always accord with the proportion mentioned above. For just distribution from common funds will also accord with the ratio to one another of different people's deposits. Similarly, the way of being unjust that is opposed to this way of being just is what is counterproportionate. The just in transactions, by contrast, though it is a sort of equality, and the unjust is a sort of inequality, accords with numerical proportion, not with the geometrical proportion of the other species. For here it does not matter if a decent person has taken from a base person, or a base person from a decent person, or if a decent or a base person has committed adultery. Rather, the law looks only at differences in the harm inflicted and treats the people involved as equal. If one does injustice while the other suffers it, and one has done the harm while the other has suffered it. And so the judge tries to restore the unjust situation to equality, since it is unequal. For not only when one steals from another, but also when one is wounded and the other wounds him, or one kills and the other is killed, the action and the suffering are unequally divided, with profit for the offender and loss for the victim. And the judge tries to restore the profit and loss to a position of equality by subtraction from the offender's profit. For in such cases, stating it without qualification, we speak of profit for the attacker who wounded his victim, for instance, even if that is not the proper word for some cases. And we speak of loss for the victim who suffers the wound. At any rate, when what was suffered has been measured, one part is called the victim's loss, and the other the offender's profit. Hence the equal is intermediate between more and less. Profit and loss are more and less in contrary ways, since more good and less evil is profit. Since more good and less evil is profit, and less evil is profit. And the contrary is loss. The intermediate area between profit and loss we have found is the equal, which we say is just. Hence the just in rectification is the intermediate between loss and profit. That is why parties to a dispute resort to a judge, and an appeal to a judge is an appeal to the just, for the judge is intended to be a sort of living embodiment for the just. Moreover, they seek the judge as an intermediary, and in some cities they actually call the judge as mediator, assuming that if they are awarded an intermediate amount, the award will be just. If, then, the judge is an intermediary, the just is in some way intermediate. Alright, guys, so we've done with the first part of this chapter, and we're going to continue tomorrow as usual. So thank you for joining me in this reading session, this video. Hope you enjoyed the journey. See you tomorrow. Bye.